I started this region a long time ago with the goal of building a home for every villager in the game. I've only got one so far. We're gonna fix that today. Cleric Trading Hall. The general idea behind this trading hall is pretty simple, but the way I got there is a little complicated. So clerics, they're this religious thing, but in the game they're made with brewing stands, and brewing stands are more of like a witchcraft thing. I didn't want to go as simple as witchcraft, so I looked more towards combining the two ideas and going towards traditional medicine. That's going to show itself a lot in the details, something I can't get to yet, because first, we have to make an exterior. And of course, I paused my time lapse and forgot to unpause it, so half of this thing wasn't shown. That's okay. This roof was really annoying to make. I feel like this is a good time to show my building process, the kind of back and forth I go through between mediums. See, this is why this stone outlining is super useful. We get a three-dimensional layout, some ideas of from what different angles, what this is going to look like. In-game with FreeCam, I can set a bunch of different camera angles like this. We get an idea compositionally of what this whole building's going to look like. But then I have to move on to color and texturing and detail, and that gets a little complicated. I'll show it on screen right now, but I usually end up taking a screenshot from some angle and just painting over it with the basic Windows Paint tool. Like the photo editor thing, you know? It's not meant to be color accurate or anything. I just want to block out how things should look. You can kind of see my vision of these being storage silo things, this being a thatch roof. We've got a wood and something wall structure going on, and we've got the kind of decking out here. One thing that's not in that drawing is this wall over here. I want this to be an arched brick thing with a bunch of tapestries coming over it to add in that kind of whimsical, fantastical feel. Honestly, the reason I went with a round building here is because the ground it's on kind of calls for it. It just fits the area pretty nice. Plus, for some reason, any kind of like witchcraft building is very round. I think it's for the same reason over there. I mean, I'm gonna have a lot of herbs and stuff in here. It's very natural, and those buildings being round kind of fits with organics and such. That's the logic, I'm sure. I don't know, round thing feel good for this theme. At this point, I don't know if I'm ready to do any fine detailing, but I at least want to get some blocks up so I get a better idea of what this thing's gonna look like. I was panicking for a bit. The color scheme we're going with is a little bold, so I may have gone forward and done a little bit of shading so far. Just on this red part. This red part is very out there. But I think it's gonna work out. I think it'll all look good. You know, clay is one of my favorite blocks in the game. It has such a nice blue tint to it. This light grayish blue is one of my favorite colors. Not favorite. Orange is my favorite, but it's up there. It's got a lot of nice blocks within its range as well. I'm going to be working with this white concrete powder and this light blue terracotta to do shading and highlights. But it really adds a lot to this thing that I wouldn't have otherwise if this was just like a normal gray block. We've got a lot of other bold builds around here, and I actually completely forgot I built this thing out of clay as well. So really, it's fitting in quite well with everything else around it. This endstone's such a hard block to work with. One of my least favorite compared to the clay. It's such an odd shade of yellow, but we've got the bamboo in the roof, and that should tie things together here. I don't know, it's just a very awkward block. Sandstone mixed in as well is gonna help, and I think the tapestries coming up top with a lot of colors will do a lot of work. Still no clue how I'm gonna make those and make them look good, but oh well. This deck is nice and wide. Usually when I build things like this, I end up making them way too small, so I gave myself ample room, and this is feeling much better. I can already tell with the flow of this whole place, I'm gonna want like a ladder or something right here. I'm gonna be going in and out in this spot specifically a lot just because it's quicker. So we got our broad strokes down for the exterior. Now it's time to get into a little touch-up. That is starting to look much, much better. Still went for some very bold choices. One thing you have to remember when you're doing this kind of thing, I'm going to end up covering this in quite a bit of foliage. We've got these trees I'm going to build a lot of over here. I'm also just planning on putting vines and things up on these walls, all that kind of stuff. It's going to have a bunch of greenery on the inside and on the outside hanging out here, so these walls are gonna get a bit hidden. And because of that, they need to stand out from behind all that. They need to pop a bit. So this does look a bit strong, the shading here, the shadow, but I still think it looks good. White concrete here for the full highlight off of the windowsills, I think looks nice. I'm doing it up here as well. I couldn't figure out something optimal, but this is fine enough. I'm just gonna wrap a vine around that and it'll work out. Finally added this ladder in, and I am really liking these little wooden things. The lanterns are in a really ideal spot. The slope of them looks really nice. It's almost a bit of a curve to it, leaning down, but it's just very, very subtle, and it's because of the trapdoors. This area over here is looking nice. Because this is on the very edge of our biome region, it's overlooking other things. This viewpoint was kind of important to me. I wanted some kind of lookout spot to stand in, and that's what this is going to be. So it's going to be somewhat clear of clutter. I'm sure we'll still throw a few things in here, but just look at the little views you get here. We kind of frame the church with this archway, and on top of all that, literally, the roof has been dirtied up a lot. It's been desaturated a lot, but then I've also got these little pops of hay bales, which look nice. Added some slabs. The spruce is not something I necessarily intended, but I think it's the best wood to go with this coarse dirt and mushroom. Jungle looks a bit too greenish pinky, and there's not really anything in between, so spruce is what we had to go with. It just adds a bit more variety. It looks fine. Bit noisy. I was adding slabs around this trim, and it got a little bit complicated up on the front here because, well, it looked really bad with the slabs, so they taper off here eventually. This straightens out. Still ended up looking good. From a distance, it looks kind of thatchy. We've still got the hay in there and the bamboo, which stands out. And from up close, I don't know, maybe looks wooden, but we've still got the yellow in there, so. And most importantly, from all our different angles, this thing is really starting to come together. But that's just the exterior. I still got detailing to do, and more importantly, I've still got an interior. Ow. We are all done in here, and I am really liking the atmosphere I have created. Interiors are not my strong suit. It's why I always avoid them. This one, it kind of works out. It was a lot of just throwing the same kind of stuff everywhere, if you couldn't tell. Lowering the ceiling like I did was really useful, adding in these rafters. One thing garages always have, I noticed, is these little extra storage planks. I don't know if it's just an America thing, but any garage I've been in, you have like a little rafters up top, and then you have the big old plywood that you set a bunch of stuff on top of. It's just a way to get extra storage space, so I thought doing that up here would make sense. We got the little herb pots. Maybe I could throw a few more around here, but honestly, I kind of like these open spaces that we still have. If there's too many of these corners, they started to look a little weird, so I added these flower pots to have the leaves come over one of the corners. Looks pretty nice. And then over here, it's like a traditional medicine thing. So they take the herbs and they process the herbs, but then they actually have to use them. So we've got a few med bays is the idea here. And finally, where the villagers are gonna go, we've got these 4 stalls here with brewing stands. I believe this will work. They should be able to see this, and we should still be able to interact with them through there. I've got to get them in there now. Okay, I haven't used this thing in a long time, so I hope it doesn't break. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. No, come back. Oh no. Oh no. Bounce back out, please. Oh no. I don't know how to reach this thing. Okay, I have an idea. Bam. Now become the profession that I want you to become. Please? Please. Well, this is a problem. Okay, there we go. Sir, I would like to purchase some of your redstone. Thank you. Oh no. Okay. There we go. Now, the reason I wanted the clerics is because I have been having difficulties with my XP recently. My only XP currently is that skeleton farm over there, and it's really slow, especially with all these netherite tools. So I've been delaying repairing my shovel and my pick. It takes so long, and eventually I should have like an Enderman farm or something, but this is an easy solution for the time being. If I can trade these guys up, please go the direction I want you to. Be kind to me. I'm gonna remove your lid. Oh, wait, that was a mistake. Bad order of operations. It's not facing the right way. Okay. Okay, now we have 4 villagers, and 2 of them are really mad at me, so I can't really trade with them right now. Okay, actually, 3 of them are mad at me. Oops. Hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to work towards some XP, and I'll have a solution for all my tools. With all our functionality set up, besides doing some trading, I think I'm just going to do some landscaping, and then we'll be done. We are now all done with this thing. Don't worry about that villager there. He may have gotten eaten. Turns out firefly bushes don't emit much light, so this place is not spawn-proofed at all like I thought it would be, but particles everywhere. It's lovely. And firefly bushes are the only thing I really added here that's new. But compared to the other area over there, you can definitely tell a difference between how I used to build and how I build now and how I've improved. There's a little more logic behind a lot of the foliage, right? I've got these in the muddy areas. I've got the roots, the dead leaves in the more coarse, sturdy areas. Things are more patchy instead of random white noise. I've got the flowers dispersed a little more patchily. Where I'm positioning trees, creating this little overarch thing here, the leaves giving way for the roof. The trees in general, I think, just look a bit better as well. Now, some of these individually, I'll admit, don't look as good as these trees. But there's a new mindset when it came to these, and that was density and efficiency. No light matica, I just wanted to place these everywhere and kind of create the atmosphere of a more forested area. I'm gonna have to go back and add a lot more trees over there, which I was already planning on doing a very long time ago. I wasn't really happy with it. So think of this as my kind of proof of concept of what the other areas might look like when I fix them. Now there's going to be a lot more mud and forest that way as well, so we've got some open spots that won't be open in the future. I'm thinking of adding one more tree over here as well. But from the sightline that matters, which is the thumbnail, this thing is looking wonderful. Turned out more fantasy than I expected it to, I won't lie. But I guess that's just what happens when you lean into the kind of witchcraft wizardry kind of side of things. I think it's still going to fit in with the vibe of everything else. It stands out as its own thing, for sure. This is also situated at the very end of our region here, so it kind of caps off or like creates a divide between the rest of everything else. This cliffside is very defined now, and it kind of ties this whole area together. This space obviously is going to have to be filled with something, but looking much, much better. I'm way happier with this build than I ever expected to be. I've got some villagers I've got to trade up with, one I've got to add back in, which means I've got to go for now. If you liked the video, then make sure to like and comment and subscribe and do the things. I go now. Bye. Bye. Bye.